channel. So this is sort of a continuation of the games that I have beaten in 2020 that were off of my backlog. So previously there were two videos going through the list of games that I had that I wanted to beat off of my backlog that I made back in like January 2nd, 2020. And, you know, again, strange year, there was a pandemic, and I didn't get to beat all of the games on that list, but I got a lot of games beat this year. And I thought I would just go over quickly some of those games. This might be a two-parter again, because I ramble, and I like to talk about my thoughts on them, in case some of you are out there and you might be inspired to play them. So the first game that I played that's on my list here is Angry Birds Rio for the PC. It's just an ordinary game that you'd play. You know, you got the little angry birds and you fire them to break down castles and different obstacles in your path. It's like a a tower defense type of game. It was fun, a great distraction. That's what we needed this year. Wasn't long. I beat it pretty quickly, but it was a good game overall. Not too bad. Nothing to write home about, I wouldn't say, but it was all right. A game that I cannot praise enough. It came out at a time when we all needed it the most. And it is a game that I would say is certainly deserving of the title of Game of the Year 2020. And I think a lot of the reason why I wasn't able to finish some of my games, mainly Dragon Age Inquisition. I might have played it a little sooner and would have found out that it updated, and I could have got my save file back. I might have been playing that if this game had not come out. And that's Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Nintendo Switch. This game was fantastic. I have put probably... I forgot to check, but I've been playing it again because, you know, they had updates and they had, like, for Christmas and things. Probably like well over 100 hours. In the beginning of the pandemic, when I heard this was coming, I ordered it. I pre-ordered this thing. I pre-ordered a copy for my wife to play because I knew she would like it, and we played together for the first 3 months, every day, hours a day, improving our island, getting it to a 5-star rating. I mean, I did everything. And you know, I've talked about beating games and can you beat certain games and what's your definition for beating a game, right? Well, something like this. Animal Crossing technically can go on forever, right? It doesn't just stop, right? You can technically play this forever and keep fishing and collecting insects and just keep crafting. Like, that's what I liked about this too, was the crafting. Yeah, you could keep doing that forever, indefinitely, if you wanted. So for me to put it in the beat pile, I had to pretty much finish the museum. I had to get my house to the maximum level, do all the chores that Tom Nook gives you. So I made a list of things that I had to hit before I would say I would put it in the beat category. But even though it's in the beat category and it's been in there for a little bit of time, I still play it. It's just so much fun, and it's a great game. And if you have a Switch and you've played previous iterations of Animal Crossing, or you like sort of that life simulator type stuff or crafting and stuff like that, just give it a try. I really liked it. It certainly was a saver for 2020, let me tell you. Another game that I played that I just picked on a whim, and I was just one day going through the Nintendo, the app for the NES that they have. If you have a subscription to Nintendo Online Services, you get those free app for the NES and Super NES games. And I just was going through one, and I found this game called City Connection. And I don't know, I felt like playing it, and I did. And I beat it in one sitting. It there's nothing to write home about. I wouldn't like, it's not a Mario, it's not Zelda that I would say you should go and play for historical reasons. It was okay. I mean, you're playing as a car, and there's platforms, and your whole point is to dodge police cars coming on the screen, and to hit all of the road. So each platform is a road, and you have, when your car goes over it, it turns a different color to show that you've done that. And to move to the next level, you have to hit all of the platforms, every segment of the platform, which, let me tell you, can be infuriating, because some levels have so many bloody cars that it's just near impossible, and it's so frustrating to go through. But again, thankfully, the Switch versions have the rewind function, which I think all older games should have, because they can be difficult. I found some of the controls to be a little unresponsive, especially when your car is jumping to different platforms and elevations. But other than that, it was an okay game. I beat it, as I said, in one sitting. It's not a long game by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, it was a good little time filler. Another game that I played that was under my wife's recommendation. We wanted to play a game for Halloween that looked fun. And I remember a year ago, she seen this as a, I don't know if it was on YouTube or if it was on my PlayStation as just a trailer. And it was Costume Quest 2. And she just loved it. She thought it was a great aesthetic. And she told me for Halloween, it was like, I think it was October 3rd or 4th, she's like, you gotta buy this game and you gotta play it. So I did. And I was not disappointed. It was an excellent game. I really fell in love with it. It wasn't a long game. It's sort of like, again, it's like an action RPG kind of element, where you're playing as kids that are going out for Halloween, but there's a dentist who wants to get rid of Halloween because it rots your teeth, you know, and there's a whole story, and you go through all these, like, back in the past, you go into the present, you go into the future, and you're doing all these different things to stop the dentist from destroying Halloween, right? And what's kind of cool about it, though, is each costume that you get, so a ghost or a dinosaur or a robot or whatever you are, clown, wizard, and you collect them as you go through the game and get pieces of them. When you go to the battle screen, whether for any enemy or boss, your character transforms into that costume, and you get all these different powers, and you know, like there's a, you know, the different rivalry mechanics. It was really good. It was a really good game. I really liked it. It stuck to me in, and you know, the graphics were great. I know it's a game that was, I think it was the PlayStation 3 or something that came out on. But still, it was an excellent game. I liked it. Highly recommend it. I have not played Costume Quest 1, but I recommend this game. I really liked it. Another game that I liked, that I remember, it's more of a PC game, but they remastered it onto the PlayStation 4 and maybe Xbox, I don't know. But that is the Day of the Tentacle. Again, this is a point-and-click adventure kind of game where you're pointing and moving your guy on the map or on the screen there to get to interact with different objects. I'll tell you now, at least for me, from my point of view, love the story, love the characters, thought they were great. Gameplay-wise, I'm okay with point-and-click adventures. I used to play them on the PC quite a bit. But this one, it was difficult to get through without a guide. And I always try to do things without a guide at first to experience organically. But yeah, no, this was, I got to a point where I didn't know what I was doing. I was just walking around because you know, I didn't know where to go and what to do and what I'm supposed to find, because there weren't really good directions and the dialogue didn't give a lot of good hints and things. So it was hard, and there were certain things that you didn't know you could interact with that would lead you to the next part of the stage so you could find that object or whatever. So yeah, having a guide with you, pretty important for this one. But other than that, though, it was a really good game. Again, story, characters were hilarious. I did like it. Similar to what I said with Costume Quest, you know, you can go forward and backwards in time. One of your friends is back in the days when the U.S. is signing the Declaration of Independence and doing the Constitution, and then you've got the future where these tentacle creatures have taken over the world, and it's just a really fun game. I liked the story, and again, I thought it was a good game. Again, if you do play it, use a guide. The next game is a sort of, I don't know, what do you call it, not an MMORPG, it's a game you can play with multiple players playing it, and it's Dead by Daylight. And I liked it. I played it all through October. You are survivors trying to survive and accomplish tasks to stay alive till daylight, right? To open up a gate and escape from a killer. And the killers are usually people who are, in many cases, famous serial killers, like, for example, Ghostface from Scream, or Jason, or, you know, there's some other monsters characters that they put in that are unique to the game. It was really good. I really liked it. I played it all through October, and I liked it all the way until I think the last 2 weeks of October. I was having a lot of connection issues to get into matches, and I would be waiting for literally hours just to get in. I just leave the PlayStation running. So yeah, I was pretty upset with that. But overall, good game. Again, another one. It's a game that you really can't beat, right? Like, you could keep playing it forever. But I've unlocked a lot. I got my character up to a pretty decent level, like into the 30s somewhere, and it was good. I had a fun time. I unlocked a lot of stuff, but at this point, to this day, I'm having trouble with it. I don't know if it's just the servers or what, but I put it in the done category for now. I might revisit it, you know, every Halloween and play a couple rounds, because it is a fun game. I did enjoy my time with it. As I mentioned before in my previous videos about the games I was beating, one of them was talking about Mario, how the 2020 was the 35th anniversary of Mario, and I went to go to the very beginning to where Mario was, and I played the first Mario Brothers. Well, I also found that Mario was also technically debuted in Donkey Kong back in 1981 when it was released, and I've played this on the arcade, and I've only ever got past the first level. I didn't know there was any other level after that. But yeah, thankfully to the Switch, I could play this game and get through it all the way, and really enjoyed it. It's a quick game, doesn't take long to beat, but really liked it. And it was nice to appreciate both Donkey Kong, which I love that franchise as well, and then Mario, where they kind of came from and started from. Again, loved it. Great game. It's great for history. Controls are actually not too bad. They're pretty tight, which is nice, especially with the jumping mechanic, which is what you need to do as Mario in this game, to jump over the barrels and different enemies. But yeah, and the platforming was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. And the last one I'm going to talk about here for this part, and we'll go on to the next part, is Drawn to Death. This is a game that I got free for the PlayStation Plus membership. I played it a little bit, and then the servers crashed, and I had an error code, and I kept going back, and it kept giving error codes. So I've tried 8 or 9 times throughout the year. For what I did play of it was pretty good, but I couldn't get on to it, and you know, obviously the graphics are as if someone was drawing on a pencil, like they had a piece of paper and they were drawing this world, and you could get weapons and play against other players and so on. And it's a shooter, you know, but I didn't get to play very much of it, and I still can't connect to it. So I don't know if they just canceled the servers or what, but as far as I'm concerned, from what I did play, it was okay. I mean, there's a lot of other games probably that do it better, but yeah, it was okay. But now it's in the done pile. So with that, thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for part 2, and we will see you guys again soon. Take care.